Hey everybody, welcome to Kiki Loves Nigeria. How's everybody doing tonight? Tonight we are talking with someone very special, and wait a minute, y'all. Hold on one second. Hold on one second for me. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Okay, Miss Aretha, I'm gonna go ahead and add her because she's already here, you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and add her to the show. Okay, so hold on one second. Let me bring her up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do all the introductions. Okay. So let's go ahead and add her because I want to make sure she can hear us. Miss Aretha, can you hear us okay?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, good. So we can hear you good. All right. So,
But Kiki,
uh,
what do I need to do? Because I'm hearing a double.
okay. So you probably got YouTube windows open. So go back and look. Like keep this one open, and then you'll probably see something about YouTube. If you see another YouTube tab at the top, close that. You should have only one YouTube tab open. I mean, yeah, one YouTube tab should be open. Do
Okay.
you see that?
Yes, I just have the
Okay.
StreamYard video open.
Okay. And you still hearing the echo?
No, it's gone.
Okay, good. Okay, so Miss Aretha, I want to just introduce you because some people don't know your story, and some people hold on, y'all. This cat is bothering me, and I'm trying to get her out the way. Okay, so she's gone. So I want to go ahead and introduce you, but before that, I got to do all this other stuff. Okay, so
That's fine.
I just want to bring her up. So you got everything set? You feel comfortable, Miss Aretha?
Yeah, I feel pretty comfortable. Yes, ma'am.
You sound
Looking
good. I
forward
can hear
to
you
it.
good.
Good.
All right, so hold on. Let me go do my little script introduction. So, hey, everybody, welcome to Kiki Loves Nigeria. On this episode of Kiki Loves Nigeria, we on this live stream, actually, we're going to talk to Miss Aretha. And Miss Aretha is here to share with us her story of starting over after going to the Gambia. Like she was one of the expats who went to the Gambia to start completely over, to start a new life in Africa, in the Gambia. And when she got there, it wasn't quite what she expected it. And she ended up having to come back to America and start over. So she's here to share her story with us and really to encourage people who have to start over, not to be ashamed of having to start over, and just to share with you what she went through and how she had to pick up the pieces and just start all over. So that's what she's here for. She's part of the series, the Gambian expats. Where are they now? One of those stories was Miss Aretha's story. All right, so what do we do on this channel? On this channel, we talk about anything and everything that impacts you coming back to West Africa, you visiting West Africa, or even East Africa, pretty much all of Africa. Okay, that's what we do on this channel. Now, the goal is for us is for you to be safe. That's the goal. That's what we do. We want to teach you how to stay safe in West Africa, not get scammed, and just be aware of what's going on. Be aware of the culture, be aware of the climate. Excuse me, you guys. I'm still getting over this, whatever this was. Be aware of the climate, be aware of the culture, be aware of everything that's going on over there. All right. Now, again, you guys know that our show is now sponsored. We have sponsors. So one of our sponsors, where our sponsor is Planet Mujo. So Planet Mujo, let's go ahead and look at Planet Mujo real quick. Planet Mujo are creams and oils, and these creams and oils, they help fight inflammation and pain, okay? And they uh, provide quick, long-lasting relief. They also provide fast delivery, and let me go back to my script so I can make sure I'm saying it right. Okay. It keeps the pain away for a long period of time. There's no bad smells. The oils don't stain your clothes. There's fast delivery, easy returns, and it's a natural pain and inflammation relief. Okay. So if you decide you want to try it, you can get 20% off if you use the code Kiki20. Okay. Now, fair use. I'm going to start with that. Now we're going to do our fair use disclaimer because sometimes I have to use videos to help teach you what I'm trying to teach you. So to do that, I have to use other people's videos. Now, that falls on what we call fair use. Okay. So hold on, I'm trying to get it up here, but for some reason it ain't working. All right. So the fair use says that okay, I don't know why this isn't working tonight. So what it says is that we can use, oh, it's frozen. I just see it. That's what it is. The internet is frozen. Okay, hold on, y'all. I'm completely frozen over here. Not sure why. Miss Aretha, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but for some reason I'm completely frozen.
You're not frozen from where I'm looking.
Oh, really?
No, you're moving around.
Okay. Okay, so fair use basically says that we can use other people's information, other people's videos to share information, okay? As long as we're using it for educational purposes. And that's exactly what we're using it for, to help educate people. I don't know why I can't get out of this now. To help educate. Hold on, y'all. This must be her telling me that we're frozen. Hold on. I think that's what she's saying. Oh, she's saying it's not frozen, but it's frozen on my end. I don't know what's wrong with this. All right, so let me go out of this. I'm trying to get out of this. So we use it for educational. We use other people's information for educational and research purposes. Okay. So tonight, again, we are here with Miss Aretha, and Miss Aretha is here to share her story with us. All right. So, Miss Aretha, I'm going to go ahead and let you take the floor.
Okay.
And hold on, my notes is showing. I know y'all ain't trying to see that. And Miss Aretha, you go ahead and you take the floor and you tell. Oh, wait, Miss Aretha. Let me go back. I want to share with them the video I made. Remember the video I made about you when we first met? I had no idea.
Yes.
It was that long ago. I had no idea. I said, oh my God, I've been knowing Miss Aretha for a while now. So, Miss Aretha, I want to share this video real quick, okay?
That's just fine.
They don't know who you are. Because remember, I didn't use your name. So
Right.
let me share. Okay, guys, everybody, this is Miss Aretha, and this is her story, okay? Hey everybody, welcome back to Kiki Loves Nigeria. On this episode of Kiki. Okay, Miss Aretha, I'm going to mute both of our mics, okay, so people can hear the video.
Yep.
Okay, 1 second. Kiki Loves Nigeria. We're going to talk about a story that takes place in West Africa, in the Gambia.
Hear it. Can they hear it?
Miss Aretha,
I can hear you now.
Can you hear the video?
No.
You can't hear the video?
No.
Okay, hold on.
I could at first, but then it stopped.
Okay, hold on. I'm playing. I think I did something. Okay. They liked the best. So
I can hear it.
they decided they would go on a tour to check them both out. After touring West Africa, when they went back to relocate, unfortunately, things were not as they seemed. when they went for their visit, and people were not as they appeared to be. And unfortunately, this nearly 20-year-old marriage would come to an end in the Gambia, with Mr. Man staying in the Gambia while Miss Lady came back. Now, let me tell you this story. So, this is the story of a love story that went horribly wrong in the Gambia. So, there was this couple, you guys, who had been married for
They're
nearly
saying they can't
20
hear the video.
years. And the husband had decided it was time for him to retire. So he retired.
She said can now.
They can't hear me. Okay, you can hear it now? Okay, good. Okay, hold on, y'all. Can you hear the video? Can you hear the video? Yeah. Okay. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, y'all, I'm sorry. He had always wanted to relocate to West Africa. So he told his wife, let's retire to West Africa. Now that I can retire, let's just go ahead and do it. And let's just, check out some countries. Let's research some countries and let's just check them out and go visit and see what we can find. This was in 2021 that they decided they would explore West Africa. So that spring, they went on their first trip to Sierra Leone. They decided they would travel with Dinah Samir on one of his tours to Sierra Leone. So they liked Sierra Leone. They said it was okay. But Miss Lady and Mr. Man did not want to make a decision that they would stay in Sierra Leone without first traveling to the Gambia. Upon arriving in the Gambia, they decided that they really, really liked the Gambia. And one of the main reasons that they really liked the Gambia was the repat community. You know that repat community you see on YouTube, led by Black Acres of the Gambia? I like to call them No Acres. Well, they were watching them. They were watching the other repats in the Gambia, and they were listening to them. So when they got to the Gambia, they decided they wanted to meet those people that they saw on YouTube that had encouraged them to come to the Gambia and not only visit Gambia, but repatriate to Gambia. After watching these people on YouTube, Mr. Man and Miss Lady wanted to meet these people. They wanted to talk to these people about their experiences in the Gambia. And they wanted to know if they truly recommended that people relocate there. So that's what they did. They set out to meet with Eric and Nicole from the Soul Food Joint. Remember, I did a video about them. They set out to meet with Black Acres. They set out to meet with the Arrival. Miss Lady and Mr. Man. Oh, and there was another one. Our Exodus, our Journey Towards Eden. I think that's what it's called. And she also said the family exodus. So she said that all of these people were really encouraging, telling them to come to the Gambia. And it just really seemed like they had a really strong support network in the Gambia, and that the African Americans were really united in the Gambia. And this was just basically a home away from home. This was a new home in the Gambia, and the repats were sticking together, and there was a community there that you could depend on if things got hard. So this is what led them to make their final decision that the Gambia would be their new home. So they stayed in the Gambia for almost a month, and they interacted with the repat community, and everything was lovely. Everything was fine. So they couldn't wait to get back to the United States so they could prepare to come back to the Gambia, but not to visit this time, but to relocate. So once they got back to the United States, they sold their house, they shipped all of their household goods to the Gambia, and 5 months later, in August, guess what, people? They arrived in the Gambia. They were living in the Gambia and they were starting their new lives. But the first thing that they noticed is that this repat community that has seemed to be so unified when they were visiting there, that same repat community that encouraged them to relocate there, did not seem so unified once they relocated there. Once they relocated to the Gambia, they said that repat community was nothing like they appeared to be when they were visiting. Miss Lady and Mr. Man said one of the things that they really noticed when they relocated to the Gambia is that there was no support system there. There was no help network there. That if you had a crisis, you were on your own. And that's what they were not expecting. They were expecting a support network there when they arrived, because that's what the YouTube content creators told them. That when you get there, we have each other's back. We'll be there to help you. We'll be there if things get tough. But once they got there, Mr. and Miss Lady said, Mr. Man and Miss Lady said, it was every man for himself. There was no support to be found. Mr. Man and Miss Lady said that friendliness that they presented to them when they were visiting, that friendliness wasn't real. That when they came back to relocate, that friendliness was gone. There was no friendliness to be found. And they were so disappointed, because what the image that they presented to them of the repat community and what the Gambia was going to be like for them, that was not the reality of the situation. That was not what was really going on in the Gambia. Needless to say, Miss Lady and Mr. Man were extremely disappointed once they arrived and they saw that this friendliness was just a facade of distance, that the repat community really has nothing to do with each other. And another thing that they noticed that no one ever told them about, and not one of the repats warned them about, was the number of marriages that had ended, the number of long-term relationships that had been destroyed once those couples relocated to the Gambia. No one ever mentioned that to Miss Lady or Mr. Man.
Right.
So they never imagined that once they got there, that once they joined the repat community in the Gambia, that once they completed their repat journey, they never imagined that that journey would cost them their marriage. They never imagined that it would end their relationship. Miss Lady never imagined that her beloved husband would no longer be her husband. Miss Lady was devastated when their marriage ended in the Gambia, when he decided to stay in the Gambia and she came back. Miss Lady said she left everything. She left everything in the Gambia and she just left and came back to the United States. She said she was so heartbroken when her husband stayed and their plans to relocate became a nightmare. Once her and her husband separated, she said there was no reason for her to stay in the Gambia. That relocation to Africa was never her plan. It was always his plan. She was just supporting him in his dream. And what really shocked her the most, she said, was that repat community that she had supported financially, that repat community that she had supported personally when she was in the diaspora, once she got there was no one there to help her. There was no one there to warn her. There was no one there to support her. She continued to voice her disappointment over and over again. All she could say was how disappointed she was with the repat community. After the separation, like I said, Miss Lady decided it was best for her to come back. Mr. Man, he was the one who had retired, remember? So they were living off of his retirement income. And see, since he stayed in the Gambia, you know what that means. All of the money stayed in the Gambia. So Miss Lady had to go to work, come back to the States, and she had to get a job. She had to get a job and support herself because the husband who she had planned to spend her future with, the rest of her life with, decided he was no longer going to support her. That's wrong. Okay, so Miss Lady is now. Okay, y'all, that part is actually wrong. Okay. So that Miss Aretha gonna explain that to y'all, okay? But that part is wrong. Okay, so hold on, I just want to stop y'all there, but that part is wrong. Um, she's gonna explain to y'all about the. I don't know if she's gonna explain that to y'all. Not, I shouldn't have said that, but that part is wrong. Okay, okay. So let's finish. Now in the States working. Her husband is still in the Gambia. He's still in the Gambia, and he's still living his repat dream, while Miss Lady is here in the United States, having to start her entire life over again. Because remember, people, they sold their house, they shipped everything they had to the Gambia, so she doesn't even have a home to come back to. I don't know where Miss Lady is living. I don't know. I can't even imagine. I'm sure when she first got back here, she had to live with relatives. Now imagine that, people. You've been married for 20, almost 20 years. Then now you got to come back to the United States and you got to stay with somebody. Because it took her some time, I'm sure, to find a place. First, she had to get a job. She had to basically get on her feet. She basically had to start all over from zero. This is a repat nightmare. Nobody talks to us about this, but you all, I remember I have gotten several emails telling me that this occurs in the Gambia, in the repat community on the regular. But you never hear any of the repats talking about it. You never hear any of the repats warning you that you got to watch your husbands. You got to watch your wives once you get to the Gambia, because there's always somebody out there to take them. There's always somebody out there trying to grab your husband. The husband snatcher and the wife snatcher is alive and well in the Gambia. But none of the repats ever tell you that. None of the repats ever tell you that. And it's true. And these husband and wife snatchers, y'all, they're usually in their 20s. In their 20s or younger. And I kid you not. In their 20s or younger. Because you got to remember, they're looking for somebody to support them. That's all they're looking for. They're not looking for nobody to love them. They're looking for somebody to support them. And what does a retiree from the United States mean? Money, money, money. Money. Y'all think I'm playing? How many stories I done given showed y'all that the bottom line, the what and the why these things happen? Yeah. The bottom line, it's all about money, people. Yeah. It's all about the money. Because remember, we already talked about a retiree's income, that when that retiree passes away, what do you get? You get survivor spouse income. So you're going to get the retiree income or the survivor spouse income, whichever one is higher, but you'll be paid. You will be paid. And if you're in your 20s, you're going to be paid for a long, long time. So these retirees over there thinking that this is love, this isn't love. They walking away from love to somebody who's just using them for an income. Using them for an income. So what I would advise you to do, Miss Lady, I would advise you to get a lawyer. And I would advise you to tell your story to a lawyer. And I would advise you to file for a divorce, and I would advise you to file for spousal support because he cannot just walk away from nearly a 20-year marriage because he met somebody new in the Gambia or because he just wanted to start all over fresh in the Gambia. It just doesn't work like that. And leaving you high and dry, where you got to start completely over with nothing. No, it doesn't even work like that in Africa. It certainly doesn't work like that in America. So, Miss Lady, please take care of your business and get you a lawyer to help you. All right, good people. That's all I have for y'all right now. Okay, so that is Miss Lady, y'all. Miss Lady is Miss Aretha. And Miss Aretha is here to share her story. All right, Miss Aretha.
Hello. Hi, Kiki. Hi, chat. To
Hi,
everyone
Miss
in
Aretha.
to everyone in the chat, I just want you guys to know I love Miss Kiki loves
Oh,
Nigeria.
I love you too, Miss Aretha.
My story is kind of long. I'm a little bit nervous. However, I'm gonna get started
Oh,
and let it flow. I want you guys to know that I'm open for the most part. I'll either say answer the question or not answer the question, or say move on and next question.
mm-hmm,
Um, my story starts. My husband and I we met in 2005, and then we married in 2006. And when we were dating, my husband always talked about retiring abroad.
mm-hmm.
And when he talked about that when we were dating, I was not on board with that at all. I was like, move to another country for what? No. But as we were married and time went on, there was this one particular evening. I was on a business trip, I'll say, and I
Mm-hmm.
was watching TV, and I was actually watching HGTV, and I saw where this couple, white couple, Caucasian couple, had bought this land in it was the Bahamas, and they were refurbishing and flipping houses and doing all kind of stuff. And I said, it's amazing that we Black Americans or African Americans feel like we have to remain in America.
Mm-hmm.
You have other people who are free to just travel the world. They pick up, they move, they do whatever. But often a lot of us are stuck here as if there's nowhere else to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I got home and I spoke with my husband, and I told him, I said, you always talked about moving abroad, and people are buying land in other places, and why can't we do that? Well, needless to say, he was really happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
And so we started looking online at international retirement packages and things like that. Well, one particular day, as I'm searching YouTube for international places, a family came up, and they had a real cool song, and we're watching it, and it was like, oh my gosh. And it was Black Acres of the Gambia, of
Of
course.
course.
And so we're watching, and they're talking about how they left, and they're there,
Mm-hmm.
and you can come with a little bit of money. And
Yeah,
it sounded
so good.
exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it sounded so good, so exciting. And so, of course, we subscribed to the channel, and we're just watching it. And I'm like, babe, why don't we look into moving there? Because one of the things is I wanted to be where Black people were.
Mm-hmm.
My husband was open. He liked the Latino countries. He had talked about Uruguay and Panama, but I was, more leaning toward going to, I guess Africa, if you
Mm-hmm.
will. And so we decided. So after we watched the Black Acres of the Gambia, of course, the algorithm says, "Oh, they're watching this, so let's give them some more stuff." So
Mm-hmm.
then we started watching Art Kathy, Dinus Demir, um, Then the arrival showed up. Then our journey toward Eden. And who else? Oh, family exodus,
Mm-hmm.
family shush, Eric and Nicole, melanated Mr. Mosley. I mean, we were just binge watching everyone.
Everybody, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and let me not forget Blacksit, Juliet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. She had us so fired up about repatriating to
Mm-hmm.
Africa, mainly, namely the Gambia, and so
Mm-hmm.
did the others.
Yes.
Most people, you can interrupt me anytime, Kiki, if you need me to stop.
Mm-mm.
Um, but most people talked about being called by God, saying, that the ancestors were calling them and God was calling them
Mm-hmm.
to move abroad, to, go back to their roots. Oh, and after, I forgot to mention, we followed Go Black to Africa. He
Mm-hmm.
was one of my favorites. So,
Mm-hmm.
at any rate, most people talked about being called by the Lord to go there. But my husband and I, that wasn't our story. Our story was we were going to retire, let Gambia or wherever we settled be our base, and then travel the world.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to keep, or I had to keep remembering the why. Because when we got there, let's see, our journey, they had a group called Our Brother's Keepers.
Mm-hmm.
And they met every 2 weeks. And they met at Eric and Nicole's, they had the restaurant, the soul food joint. So they met there with a group of people every 2 weeks. And we would go, we would attend. And for me, it started feeling like church.
Oh.
And yeah, it started feeling like it's something you had to do, you had to be a part of.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, also, let me, I don't have to confess, but let me just say that I was moving away from Christianity at that time, as far as the, I guess, the organized church, if you
Okay.
will. Never left God, but just was looking at different things,
Mm-hmm.
being more open to, I guess, spirituality,
Yes.
um, African spirituality, just learning,
Mm-hmm.
Um, our journey toward Eden, they are, as I understand it, Hebrew Israelite. And they were building a whole community where they had land and they were selling this land and they were building, I think, I don't know, Garden of Eden or something like that. And we actually purchased land from them.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, we purchased land from them through a company called Mama Land. They
Mm-hmm.
worked for Mama Land, and we bought 2 plots. That's what they call it there. And it was so weird to me because plot sounded like a burial ground to
Right.
me.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm.
So we bought 2 plots of land. Um, and But we didn't buy it in the Garden of Eden place or Eden's Gardens or whatever it is, because we were not Hebrew, so we were not buying it to be a part of that community. We just
Okay.
bought land somewhere else. So,
Okay.
and they did give us our paperwork. They
Mm-hmm.
did give us our paperwork and the stamps and all that stuff that needed, to go with. A lot of people are discouraged that they go over there, they buy land, and they don't get their paperwork. But we actually got paperwork in our hands.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I would imagine, guys, I'm going all over the place. I'm thinking of stuff as I'm talking. Let's see. We got there. One of the first things we did is we went on a tour with Dynast Amir. We went on a tour with him to Sierra Leone in April, I believe it was. and it was a 9-day tour, and it was okay. It was the tour itself was okay. Like he's telling you, you get, breakfast and lunch, dinners on your own,
Mm-hmm.
hotel stay, um, transportation as far as doing the different activities with him and the tour group.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there was one day we were driving on the bus so long and there was no lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was okay. Sierra Leone, I guess the country in the raw, if you're looking at the mountains and the hills, and because Africa is a beautiful place
Right.
in the raw.
Yes.
Um, but the first place he had taken us when we went there, I believe we had eaten lunch at somebody he knows restaurant, and he took us to the slums,
Mm-hmm.
and I got sick on my stomach.
Oh no, you got food poisoning.
No, 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 no. This was mental sick. I
Oh, it
got
was that bad.
on my stomach because it was that bad, you know, as
No.
as far as the people around. This is my experience. Let me
Mm-hmm.
also make that disclaimer, or let me say that I'm not speaking for anyone else, and I'm not speaking generally. I am specifically telling my story and how I perceived what I saw in my experience.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think I went there and I just found out just how Americanized I am, or
Yeah.
how American I
Yes.
am, you
That will
know.
happen. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what it was. So when I say I got sick on my stomach, I was sick on my stomach because I had never been in a place where, it was squalor and seeing dirty diaper kids walking around with dirty diapers. And then one of the guys had started handing out money, and then everybody was swarming to him. And it was quite an interesting experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then, however, the next day or so, we went to, I can't think of the name, let's say like a commerce building, like you might see a state office building in America, something like that. And Dinus was very friends with I don't know what her title is, but I'm just going to say maybe like a stateswoman, or she was a big time lawyer here in the US, but
Mm-hmm.
she's in government there in Sierra Leone. So we all sat there and talked with her for a while, and that was pleasant. And we all took a group picture
Mm-hmm.
there. Um, First time I rode a KK, not a Kiki. No, no, it's a
Yeah, you're
car.
right.
It's
It's
called KK in Sierra
mhm.
Leone.
In Nigeria, it's called KK.
It's called a KK in Nigeria. It
Mm-hmm. I
might be
don't know
called
about Sierra
a
Leone. Yeah.
and to Joy, yes, that is true. We were not prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, and visited. So after we left Sierra Leone, where most went back to the US, we went on to Gambia. From Sierra Leone, we flew to Gambia.
Okay, wait a minute, Miss Aretha. So
Okay.
look, everybody. So this is part of Miss Aretha's research. This is part of their research deciding on
Yeah.
which country they wanted to go to. Okay, so
Right.
first they went to Sierra Leone and they went with Dinah's tours. That way they could really see, if they liked this place or not. And she said
Right.
it wasn't for them. So now she's telling us about Gambia. So you were in Sierra Leone. Okay, now
Mhm.
tell us what happened right after that. Go ahead.
Okay. So once we left, okay. So also going to Sierra Leone, let me say this. So you land in the airport,
Mm-hmm.
then you got to go in the big building and catch a ferry.
Yeah.
Then it takes a long freight. You in the airport, then you gotta walk to the ferry, be in this
Mhm.
building, then get on get on the ferry, and then the ferry takes you across the water, and then you get to the land, and then you get on the bus and it takes you somewhere. That is exhausting. I was just
Mhm.
like, oh my goodness. It's a
Mhm.
lot of planes, trains, and automobiles and boats. So we left Sierra Leone, uh, and it was very shocking, Joy. We left Sierra Leone and we flew into Gambia. And when we flew into Gambia, our journey toward Eden, yes, we did meet Juliet and Adrian. We flew into Gambia, and our journey toward Eden picked us up. Now, let me say, we paid for services to everyone that did anything for us. Okay. Our
Wow.
journey toward Eden had a fee of, I don't remember what it was, but the fee to pick you up and take you back.
Wow.
The arrival, when we, so they picked us up, they took us to, where they take us? Oh, they took us to where we were going to stay, which was another suggestion. But what's her? I think her name is Shanice, and she's from the UK. Sister Shanice.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
She had a gentleman on her show who has supposedly this beautiful place that you can stay, had all these big rooms. So we being who we are, we're trying to support everybody. You know, you got a business, okay, you got a business, you got a business. We just going to just support everybody in the Gambia. So I can't think of his name. I can see his face. But Sister Shanice recommended, hey, if you want to stay, this is a lovely place to stay. So we paid the money to stay there. By way, we did it while we were in the US, by way of somebody through Zelle, through somebody through Zelle. Nothing is direct. The money always exchanges a lot of different hands. Got there, and the place wasn't ready for us. And unbeknownst to us, his son and his family were staying there. And so they put us on the top floor, and we had to climb the stairs to get. And I'm not complaining. I'm just telling y'all the story. We had to climb to the top of the house to get to the room, and it was okay. It was okay.
Was it hyperlink, Miss Aretha?
Huh?
Someone says, is it hyperlink?
No, it wasn't hyperlink.
Okay,
no.
Go ahead.
So the son, we told the son that the climbing the stairs was just too much for us, and if he could move us, so he said he would move us to a different room. He did. A lot of the house was unfinished. So it, to me, looked like a hazard. You know, like, no lie, like a hazard. And there's balcony, you know, a lot of the beautiful homes there have balconies. And so it was, baby, I don't know what was going on with this, but you had to walk out of the room, and then it was the balcony was gone. I don't know what it was, but you had to be careful.
It was gone.
It was gone. And it's like they were redoing it or something. And so we decided that we would leave there and stay somewhere else. So we called our journey. They took us to another place, and we paid.
Place. What?
I know. No, it wasn't Kwesi's place. I can't think of the man's name. It is a common African name, but he lives in, I want to say, Switzerland or something. And his son and his wife and their 3 kids were living there. So anyway, we left there, we went to this hotel and stayed there, and it was okay. It was pleasant.
Okay.
Like a extended stay. And I remember we were going for a walk, and it was trash and rotten fruit and, you know, goats and chickens and cows walking. And I just remember having a pit in my stomach and just like, we're going to move here. I really don't like this. but I wasn't mature enough and secure enough in my being to say, I changed my mind. I don't want to do this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we bought a package with our journey, like I said, for them to pick us up, take us to our place, and then bring us back to the airport. We bought a tour package with them. They took us on a boat ride somewhere to another island. I have pictures where I'm in like the largest tree of in Gambia. It was interesting. What else? Some y'all can ask me a question because I feel like I'm just rambling.
No, they're listening, Miss Aretha.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
keep going. You're telling it's
Okay.
interesting. No,
Okay.
when they're not asking questions like this, that's because they're listening.
Okay.
No, because it's 124 people on here, so they're
Okay.
listening. Okay.
Well, that's awesome. So let's
Yes.
see. We did that, and then one of the days on our own, we went out to see Black Acres
Mm-hmm.
of the Gambia, and of course, we met Rick and Cynthia, and they were gracious when we met them. Oh my goodness. And they did a video on us, and you probably could find the video. When we're walking up, we start singing their song, Somebody's Getting It. And I think Rick jumps down and he starts dancing or whatever. They were gracious. There were quite a few of us out there visiting at that time, and the ladies they had working for them had delivered onions, and they had a big table of onions and told us we can take as many onions as we could. And they interviewed everybody, talked to all of us about moving, to the Gambia, or what would make us want to move there. And so, of course, we're still excited, and we're like, ready to repatriate and being saturated in the U.S.
Right.
And I remember, and we met a couple there, and they're not on YouTube either. And I think my husband is still friends with the husband, but we're still friends with that couple to this day. They still go back and forth to Gambia. I think his wife told me they were going to go back every 6 months. They bought land right next to us. So we bought 2 plots and they bought 2 plots. So I met the wife that day, and I remember thinking to myself, how is he going to build apartments in a bowling alley and all the stuff he talks about? It's like he got a lot of dreams. Wow, doesn't look like that could just happen.
Exactly.
But when you're watching the YouTube and you're like, oh, we're going to build this, and oh, we're going to do that, and oh, we're going to give you this, we're going to do the raffle. It sounds amazing.
Yes.
And I'm not going to lie to y'all. I was bought hook, line, and sinker. You could have bought me with a feather and brushed it over me, and I was done, because we weren't looking for, I'll tell you what we were looking for. We were looking for community. We're older, and we were looking for community.
Yes.
So that's when we visited, and we just kind of went around and looked. We went to Soul Food Joint, and we went to Solomon's, and we went to different places while we were there. And all the while, I guess I'm just blindly going through it all, and I'm with my husband, and I'm thinking, okay, we're retiring and we doing this thing. We just gonna go here and live our best life.
Yeah.
And so I was ignoring my inner person. I was ignoring my own truth. So we're there, we go back, or we come back to the States, and we're going to do this, And so we put our house up for sale, and Dynas Demir had just gotten his license as a realtor, and he talked about it. And so me being who I am, and I like Dinah Samir and his channel, and my husband found out that he was in the same Greek fraternity as him. So we hired Dinah Samir, to sell our house, and we got a pretty penny for our house. We sold it for twice the amount that we had bought it for.
Oh, good.
And as a matter of fact, watching Go Black to Africa, he talked about, you put it out there to the Lord and the Most High is going to answer, da, 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 da. And that's exactly what I did. And I remember when we sold our house, I wrote Go Black to Africa an email, and he actually put that email on his show of what I was saying about how we sold our house and how we're going to the Gambia and da, 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 da.
Wow.
Sold our house, put all our things in storage until it was time for us to go, rented a container, shipped over two cars, one huge Toyota Tundra truck and a Chevy Camaro convertible. All our household goods. You imagine at that time we were married 15 years, all our household goods. And the day before we were going to fly to Gambia, my husband left his passport in one of the suitcases that was in the shipping container.
Oh,
so
that was the sign.
Delayed.
I would have took that as a sign not to go.
It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I was upset with him, and he was upset with me that I was upset with him that he left his passport in that. So his passport is on the container. So with that, we got an Airbnb for a month.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's, of course, a certain protocol you have to go through in order to get another passport. So we finally get his other passport, and then we're on our way. In the meantime, we're talking to the arrival on the phone and, communicating with them. We were on their show as well. They had a live show. We were on their show together.
Mm-hmm.
And they, too, had a consulting business. And when we got there, so my husband asked him, hey, and we're thinking that we're friends. Oh, we met them while we were visiting. So we're thinking automatically, we're friendly. Mm-hmm. Maybe not friends. It takes a while to build a friendship, but so we're communicating with them on the phone, and he and Kenny are talking, and he's saying, hey man, well, what do you need? You bring anything to you? And Kenny says, yes, you can bring me da da da. And so we pick it up, da 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 da. Mm-hmm. And when we get there, they have a consultation business for $50. Mm-hmm. And he calls my husband calls him on the phone. And he's talking. He's like, yeah, guy. Well, yeah. Well, when you pay the $50, we can talk. And that was the first disappointment.
Wow.
That was the first disappointment. And then, so he paid him the $50, and then we talked, and then they sent a realtor to help us look for places to live. And that was a fiasco too, because, when you get to Gambia, you'll find out, yes, they were clean. When you get to Gambia, you'll find out that, they on their own time. They're slow. It's not like America, hurry up and wait. It is, we doing our thing. And, we got an appointment at 8:00. We'll get there by 1:30, But and that time when we came to live there, we stayed at the Tamala. So we stayed at the Tamala for 2 weeks when we went to live there.
Okay.
So, and that's when, and then we had, the arrival sent a man over that was going to help us find a place. I don't know if he was helping us to find land or just a place to live. I think it was a place to live. But anyway, when he showed up, he was in a taxi and he had 4 other people with him. And so he didn't have, so we're coming down to meet him, and he's like, yeah, can we go? So first of all, of course, they were late. And then when he finally gets there with not 4 other people, 3 other people, he says, well, can we go in and sit in the lobby and talk? And I was just like, no, we have an appointment to go look at a place. He's like, oh, okay. Well, we need you to get us a taxi to get there. And I was like, a taxi to get there? We're not getting no taxi to get there. And who are all these other people? Oh, well, they're just along for the ride. So we didn't get a taxi. My husband basically told the guy off and was like, how you going to show up as a real estate agent? Now, he's not thinking, we in Gambia, we ain't in the United States. How you going to show up to take me to see a house and you have no way of taking me to see a house? And so that offended the guy, because we were not buying a taxi for him and his 3 comrades to take us to a place. And he called the arrival, told them. And so then they called us to find out what happened. And, that was messy. It is comical now.
Yeah, so but I bet it wasn't comical back then, though. I bet it wasn't funny when it was happening.
It wasn't. It wasn't funny at all. My husband is military retired, so there's certain things he's like, nah, that's not gonna work. So anyway, our journey, who was with Mama Land, they are the ones that helped us find a beautiful home. We found a beautiful home to rent.
Oh, good.
It was a 4-bedroom, 4-bath home we found. And they didn't charge us for that. But now this is not on them, this is on us. They didn't charge us for that, but I felt like because that they were charging for everything else, that we needed to pay something anyway. And so we did give them a fee, gift, or whatever for helping us find the place. I mean, we would go look at a house and there'd be next door neighbors that would see us looking at the house, and before you knew it, they was in the house. Hey, where'd they come from? Weren't they the people just in that other yard? And then they would end up being, no. And then we looked at another house and there were people who were squatting or living in the garage. Oh, you can rent it. You can rent it. When you rent it, we'll be gone. No. Huh? What'd you say?
I'm just, go ahead, Miss Aretha.
This stuff really happened. So finally we found, our journey had this place, and she showed us, and we looked at it, and it needed a little bit of work, but it was a really nice place, and we went ahead with it. And the people that cleaned the house had the keys across the street, and it was 2 older elderly sisters. One was in her right mind and the other one wasn't. And the one that wasn't in her right mind had the keys, and she was fighting with our journey about letting us in the house. And so that was funny too. Let's see, where do we go from there? So everything takes a lot of time, getting to the bank, and everybody wants money from you. You're American. So they want more, they charge you more. That's my experience. I'm in a cab or a taxi and they charge you double or triple because they hear your accent. What else?
So when it sounded like when you guys first went that you guys were working together like
Yeah.
a team, like you were moving
Yes.
together as a unit when you first left
Yes.
to go there.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so now you're at the point where you guys are looking for the house to move in, right?
And then
Miss
what?
Aretha.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
No, what did you say? You're looking, so now you're at the point where you guys are looking for a house to rent for the time that you're there, right?
Right. As we were, and my husband still lives in that house.
Oh, okay. Okay, so go ahead with that. How did you finally find the house?
Well, our journey had it. Remember, I said that they worked for Mama Land.
Yes, right. Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if it was a Mama Land house or if it was somebody that is true, Kenny. That is true. That did happen. I wouldn't dare tell a tale on you. That did happen. Maybe you don't remember, but that did happen. He's saying he's on there and he's saying that's not true. And I mean, it is true. I wouldn't dare tell a lie on you, Kenny. Or which part is not true?
Right.
So, tell me which part is not true, and or you can tell your story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it in any bad way, but that did happen. Um we were at the Tamala,
Mm-hmm.
and when we got there, my husband called you on the phone and you said, "Okay, brother, well, when you pay fee, the consultation fee, we can talk." That is true. And the consultation fee was $50. That is true, Kenny. I wouldn't dare lie on you. And I love you and Terry. It's not an indictment against you. This is just what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's that you don't remember that it happened, but lying is not what I do. I have nothing to gain by telling a lie. So if maybe you understand the story different than I do, then maybe you can come on and you can tell your story. But when we got there and we had brought the items for you, and actually Joe brought excuse me, my husband brought the wrong item to you because you were asking for a grounding plug or of some sort, and he brought the wrong item. And when he called you, when we got there, we were in the Tamala, and I don't know if it was the first night or the second night, but you said, "Okay, brother, sure, pay the consultation fee and then we will talk." And then the what is it, the real estate guy did come with three other guys, and he came in a taxi, and then he wanted us to go to get a taxi for him to take us to a place to look at places to rent. I don't know what I said that isn't true, but this is the way that I remember it, and as I understand it, it is true. Um, so um, if you are more than welcome to say what you think is true, but I'm not lying. Uh,
Okay.
and we visited you guys, and it was a lovely visit.
Mm-hmm.
And the arrival recorded our visit with them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the only one we were really friends with our journey, and we never did a video with them. We
Mm-hmm.
just never did a video with them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and,
Okay, you were talking about the house when you
the
found the
house is,
house.
yeah, our journey found us the house. It was
Mm-hmm.
lovely. We were there for 3 months before our things arrived.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when all hell broke loose. And then um, my husband and I broke up, tried to work it out,
Mm-hmm.
didn't work out. And finally, I returned to the US in June of 2022. We moved there August 2021, and I returned June 2022.
So you said after the things arrived, all hell broke loose. So what happened after
Household
you
effects.
said again?
Our household effects.
Yeah.
Our
After you got everything, what happened?
I
What
found
do you think happened to make all hell break loose? What was going on? If you don't mind sharing it with us.
I don't mind sharing it. I'll be general. I won't go into detail.
Okay.
But my husband was having an affair. Now he wasn't having an affair there because we in oh, what is it called, Gambia.
Mm-hmm.
um he had been having a long time affair in the US prior to us. That's true. Prior to us getting to Gambia, and I didn't find out until I got to Gambia. And the information and the details of uh, the affair was so mind blowing
Mm-hmm.
that um, it basically took me out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it basically took me out emotionally, mentally,
Mm-hmm.
spiritually, physically.
Mm-hmm.
It took me out. And when that happened, when I found out about it,
Mm-hmm.
um, our journey uh, came and she picked it. I walked to a restaurant from our home, which was about maybe a mile and a half away. And I called her and she picked me up and took me to a hotel, and I stayed there a couple of days. Okay, went back to the house. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we tried to work it out. We even
Mm-hmm.
flew back to the US and got counseling, and flew back to Gambia. And it just didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just didn't work out. But in the meantime, we were going to the meetings of our journey. The Brothers Keeper. We met Juliet. Now we met Juliet when we visited,
Mm-hmm.
because we had set, she was taking 15-minute appointments. So we had a 15-minute appointment with her, and she talked the same time,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Somebody saying, can you let her see what happened? All I know is I'm not lying. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's see. What else? Ask me some questions. I mean, people can ask me questions if they
So
want.
this okay. So after you found out about the affair in the United States, you were in Gambia.
Yes.
So did Gambia play any role? Like when he was in the Gambia, did that play any role in the breakup, or you think it was just the breakup? You think it was just what happened in the States that was the cause of the breakup, and it just happened to go down in Gambia?
Well, yes, I believe what happened in the States caused the breakup. It went down in Gambia, and then I think other factors. I don't know, and my husband will probably never tell you this, but I think he was interested in other people there, other
Mhm.
women there. I
Mhm.
mean,
Why do you think that?
I think that because I was far, far away from home.
Mm-hmm.
I too retired
Mm-hmm.
after he retired, I retired from my career for, I was there 17 years. I retired. And again, we were living on his retirement. So I had no job, sold our house, all of our effects. What was I going back to? Now, again, this is my thinking. This is not anything he said. So this is my thinking. I think so. And there are some other things that, when I left and came back to pick up some of my things, um, that I saw that led me to believe that he was having a good time in Gambia without me.
Mm-hmm. So, so when you guys were in Gambia, do you think he was doing things like behind your back together? Like when you guys were together, do you think he was cheating on you then?
I don't know.
Did you
I
ever
think
feel like that?
I think toward the end, before I was leaving, yes.
So why do you what? So before, okay, after you guys came back from the counseling and you went back to Gambia, were you trying to make it work out then?
Yes.
Okay, so that's good. So you were trying to make it work, but what was happening was did you like feel like he was checking out other women? What was going on when you felt like, oh no, this ain't gonna work at all?
Well, yeah, he had a wandering eye, and I was uncomfortable about that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the bottom line, as we were trying to work it out, we were still going through extended counseling. It was just online.
Okay.
Um, he would never, could never, chose not to disclose to me what his reasons were for um, doing what he did, which was part of the counseling, which was part of the disclosure. And then one evening, he told me that he did not love me anymore and he did not want to pursue the marriage. But if he changed his mind, he would let me know.
Mm-hmm.
And it was at that point that I chose to pack my bags.
Now that part when he did that, do you think that Gambia had a lot to do with him with that part?
Think so. I think he had his eyes somewhere
Mhm.
else.
So
His
by that
eyes and his
time,
interest somewhere else.
yeah.
Yes.
So by that time, he knew, there was plenty of fish out there that he could just go and
Yeah.
just get in
And
with.
then think about it, or not think about it, but let me just say my experience. We lived in a very nice neighborhood. A lot of the women are maids, and they're living. Um, there was a lady across the street that used to do my hair.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my husband is a musician. He plays the saxophone. So he's playing the saxophone, and it's reverberating all through. And this even happened in the US.
Mm-hmm.
Women would see how he treated me publicly and they would gawk. And
Mm-hmm.
it was like, oh my gosh, I want a husband that treats me like that one day. And that was said to us there in the Gambia. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, we went into this one restaurant and we're always holding hands. He's always opening the car door for me, and behaving as um, a delightful husband. And women see that and they're like, I want that. So, we walked in there, we Gary ordered some chicken, and the first thing this lady says is, oh, I want a husband like that. Now, my husband, he's gregarious. Who doesn't want attention? I don't know. Yeah, I think he knew that other women were interested in him and that he didn't have to have me because there would be somebody else ready to fill in the blanks.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think. That's my story. That ain't his.
So Zora Neo wants to know, how did you manage when you returned to the United States? Because that's what a lot of people, that's what they want to know. That's what a
Oh,
lot of women are scared of. They don't know how they're going to manage when they get back here, when they gave up everything to go there.
yeah. I left everything except a couple suitcases with my stuff. And then a couple months later, I went back and got some more stuff. When I came to the United States, I lived with my daughter and her three children and her boyfriend. who did not like me being there.
Oh no.
That turned out to be a disaster.
Wow.
And so I end up moving out,
Mm-hmm.
and um, I stayed in a hotel from July to October. Um, yeah. And then in November, I got an apartment.
Miss Aretha, I'm sorry about that. I didn't know that part.
Mm,
Wow. Mm.
yeah. When I call you on the phone, I can tell you what really happened. Yeah. It was a disaster.
Wow.
Um, um,
Mm.
and let's see. Yeah, I lived in a hotel. When I was in the hotel, now my husband and I separated,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, I moved to the U.S. and we're still married.
Right.
So, and I listen. I'm just telling y'all, I've been in therapy ever since. 1-800-GET-HELP. That's my motto.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, myself and the therapist and my husband had a three-way Zoom call.
Okay.
And on the three-way Zoom call, the therapist asked him first what he thought about the separation. And he said he didn't want a long, drawn out separation. He just wanted a divorce. So she asked him, was he willing, because I was starting over from nothing, to support me? And he said yes, because
Mhm.
he's not an asshole, his
Oh,
exact
that's good.
words.
That's good.
So yeah, that's so I my plan was, I had retired, I didn't have a job, and I'm staying in a hotel. And just one day on a fluke, I just applied to the same career I had prior to leaving,
Mm-hmm.
and got the job. And instead of having a lot of tenure, I started uh, back from scratch, making hardly any money. So, but in the same career. So that's what I've been doing. When
Wow.
I to Mayel 7, when
Mm-hmm.
I left, we were married 16 years. We are still married, and in April it'll be 19 years. I agree, London lady. I think he has already regretted it, his
Mm-hmm.
decision. I think he has regretted it. I by no means am a perfect woman or person, probably wasn't a perfect wife, but I was a good wife, and I
Mm-hmm.
was a loyal and a faithful wife. And so um, I would have taken care of him until his old age, in which he is old. I would have taken care of him, and he had a traveling buddy. That was me, we were in this.
Mm-hmm.
But um, yeah, listen to your gut, which I didn't. I was afraid of my gut, but my gut was real. Some say the gut,
Yeah.
the Holy Spirit, God, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm learning now to listen and to love myself. We do not have children together. Um, to love myself, to honor my gut feeling, listen to the Holy Spirit, and move forward.
Okay, Miss Aretha, here's another one.
Yes, when I went back to get some of my other things, he bought me out. Like I had, and I say this because I was so proud of it. Um, at our house, I had a baby grand piano that we shipped over there, and he bought it off of me. He bought me out half of the land of what we bought in Gambia. So he bought me out. So I left. Oh, but I left with the intent of getting the money, but the bank in Gambia didn't have the money. So we put the money in the bank, but we couldn't withdraw the money from the bank because they didn't have enough money in the bank.
But you put the money in the bank, but now you couldn't get the money out because they didn't have the money.
Correct. So
Wow.
it took 2 months for them to get the funds for them to be able to pay me the money.
Wow.
That's another thing. You go and you put your money in the bank in Gambia, you gonna put it in, but you ain't getting it out because they don't have the capital or the revenue that's flowing like it is here in the US. So imagine it took them 2 months to get the money.
I can't even imagine that. Now, what about this one, Miss Aretha? Um, so this question says, so she basically married a man who possibly never loved her. I think she was aware that her husband was a womanizer from the beginning. Just my opinion, says Juan Lion. So my Juan
So
might be lying. Go ahead.
one lion. I agree. That's how I feel. Um, I heard someone say the other day, you can don't judge a person by what they say or what they promise.
Mm-hmm.
Judge them by their past behavior. And if their past behavior was thus and such, if they have not done the work to heal and to recover, that's going to be their behavior again. So,
Mm-hmm.
yes,
Yes, exactly.
yes.
Exactly. So they're gonna do it. That's what is that?
That is fortunate. That is fortunate,
Yes.
London lady. Mm-hmm.
So when you went back, did he ever try to talk you into staying or talk you into
Never,
like let's he never what never?
never.
Okay.
Never. I've been gone almost, it'll be 3 years in June, and not once has he ever said, I miss you. Not once has he ever said, I want you back. He said, I'm sorry for how I
Um,
ruined our marriage, but he's never said, I miss you or I want you back. He's never called me to talk to me and he's
ooh,
never asked where I live or how I'm doing.
mm, dang,
Never, never, not once. Now, we've
mm,
been in communication. I've spoken my piece and he's responded, but has he ever initiated and said, I missed you? No. Has he ever called and said, how you doing? Where you living? How you faring? No, never, not once.
wow.
Not
I
once.
can't even believe it. In and out says a lot of people are moving to Africa thinking their marriage will get better. That's not realistic. Thinking Africa can finish problem marriages off. So do you
Yes,
agree with that?
I do. And here's the thing, we had our issues, but I didn't think we had a problem marriage. I stuck with my husband. It didn't matter what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm I stuck with him. So I didn't think that we had a problem marriage. I thought it was gonna strengthen. Like I said, we were gonna go, Gambia was gonna be our base, and we were gonna travel. I mean, we went
Mm-hmm.
to Senegal, we went to while we were there, we went to Senegal, we went to Spain while we were there and came back. And what's his name? Go Black to Africa did a post. There were some other couples whose marriages fell apart
Mm-hmm.
once they got to Gambia or Africa or whatever. And um, he talked about whatever your issue is there in the US, you got to work it out
Mm-hmm.
because it's not going to fix when you get to Gambia or West Africa
No.
or whatever. And I remember showing that episode to my husband, and he just didn't have no response. Mind you, I was still in the dark then. I had no clue. And do you know, I think it was a day later, or maybe not 2 days later, that is when our marriage went poof.
Oh, wow.
And I was willing to stay. But I'll tell you, if for me, and I may have been blind and not seen and, insecure, didn't pay attention or whatever, what have you. But when he spoke the words, I don't love you anymore. I don't want the marriage. And if
Wow.
I change my mind, I'll let you know. It
What?
was then that the spell on me was broken, or that my eyes opened up, because I'm like, it's one thing for me to be blind and think, okay, yeah, you love me, or you don't love me, or yeah, I see that going on and I'm not paying it attention. But it's another thing for you to tell me, I don't want you. And then for me to be in a foreign land, no, for me, that was it. And I'm not a young woman, guys. I'm what you call an elder. So all of us don't grow and learn at the same pace. I never considered myself a slow learner, and I wouldn't say that I am. I would just say that I'm a person that was afraid of what I saw. Yeah, that's what I would say. I was a person that was afraid of I was afraid of the truth.
Wow.
So,
all right, Miss Aretha, here's a question for you.
Yeah, he'll be 70 this year.
Oh. I hope he got somebody to help him out. What about this from Miss Aretha? You want to answer that one?
He hasn't signed the papers.
So that's for London lady. He hasn't signed the papers yet. So Miss Tanzania says Africa is so spiritual on another level. A local Tanzania told one of my clients that she can put juju on her and make
She and her husband hate one another. This local woman was in her 40s. That's what it says.
What?
But let me tell you, I don't know if I'm going to blame it on juju, but let's blame it on juju.
Okay.
The lady across the street, when she first did my hair, so the house we lived in, and again, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, this is Aretha speaking. I'm not saying this is true. These are my thoughts. This is what I think. I'm not giving it any truth. This is just something that was in my head. You could stand on the top balcony in our home and look down into their compound.
Yeah, okay.
Okay? First time, and I used to have her the young lady to do my hair. And she had 3 children.
Okay.
And they were 14, 9, and 5. And then she was taking care of her niece, and her auntie was there. The 2 aunties were there, and they were elderly.
Okay.
The first time she did my hair, she came walking. She was naked. She was topless. Of course, it was very hot. I'm thinking,
what?
Maybe this is a custom or something. I don't know. But now that's not a thought. That actually happened. She came to do my hair, no top on. I don't. And like I said, we got this balcony and you can look directly down into the compound. I don't know if he ever seen her walking around naked. He could have. I don't know. And then I have very beautiful African hair. That picture y'all see is weevilicious. But she would do my hair, and of course my hair came out in a comb. I don't remember what she did with the hair. So I don't know. I'm not saying she did anything. I'm not saying he seen her. I'm saying he could look down in that dag on that, and he would be on that top balcony looking down.
Okay. That's crazy. So, so Juan says, do you think his refusal to sign the divorce papers are financial, like stock portfolio, his savings, etc., since all assets will need to be split 50-50?
I don't know. I can't answer for him.
Okay. So, so now you're back in the United States. So when you finally left, you didn't. So have you regretted anything about coming back to the United States?
No, ma'am. And again, like I said before earlier, and I kind of think I'm funny. I tell that to my kids and the different people. Oh, I think I'm so funny. So I'm gonna give you my explanation. When I left there to go to Africa, I was soul sister number 9. Sock it to me one more time, right? When I came back, I was singing, I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. Where I have hot water all day long and power, electricity. There you go. That's how I feel. Do I regret it? No, no, no.
Oh my God.
I don't know how loud I was singing, but
That was good. I know you can say, hey, Miss Aretha, so what do you say to people who are hesitant to come back because they don't want to start all over again? What would you say to them?
I would say if you want to come back, find a way and hightail it out of there. Find a way. I did not know then, Kiki, you're the one that told me that the embassy will help you get back to America. I didn't know that. So go to the embassy. If you don't have the money, go to the embassy. If I do believe in my heart of hearts, as long as we are alive, there's hope. And that your situation may be over, your dream may be over, how you started may not have worked out. But baby, if you got life, you got hope, and you can always start over. And it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be all roses. It was a hard road for me starting over. But let me tell y'all, I just turned 62 last week. I'm the happiest I have ever been in my whole life. I am single. Well, not single. I'm still married. But what I mean by single is I'm not entertaining anybody, and I don't want to entertain anybody. So start over. You can. Don't get caught up thinking that you're here and you're stuck, because you're not.
What about if they feel embarrassed? A lot of them, I think, just feel embarrassed and ashamed.
I was embarrassed. Y'all, I was so embarrassed because not only did I leave Africa, but the situation that was here returning to, those people live here. All that was going on was here. I felt so much shame and so much humility. I mean, I feel like I was so humiliated coming back. I have 4 adult children. They were not happy that I left in the first place. And then to come back and um, for them to know what his true colors were, for my family to know what his, that's what I mean by the humiliation. There's a saying, the wife is always the last to know. Well, everybody in the US, my family, children, siblings, everybody knew about what he had done before I knew.
Mm.
I was the last one to find out.
Mm.
So I was humiliated.
Wow.
And there are still places and that I am triggered going to because of what was going on that I didn't know was going on, but now I knew was going on.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm the happiest I've ever been, but I still have a level of grief that I live with every day. But I don't let the grief, I don't let the grief overtake.
Mm-hmm. London Lady says, what happened to the side chick in the United States?
Um, she's still alive. She's I don't think she lives here in Atlanta anymore. That's where I live. I don't mind saying that. Um, so I don't know.
So Joy wants you to know that his choices are not a reflection of anything about you. Okay.
Amen. Ashe.
So, okay, hold on. You got some more questions. David says, oh, he's talking to Miss Tanzania. Do banks in Africa? No, that has nothing to do with you. Okay. So, wait a minute. Let me look at this. This one says, yeah, but your children should know that you didn't cheat and life happens.
They do. And my relationship with my children has repaired and it continues to repair and mend. And the one of the things too that I'm so thankful for, if I was still in Africa, of course I could FaceTime my grandchildren and my children.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'm here and they can come visit me and I
Mm-hmm.
can touch them and I
Mm-hmm.
can hug them and they can hug me and they can call me and we can be family. And I am so thankful for that.
So, Miss Aretha, what, before we get off here, because you've been talking for almost 2 hours, tell me, first, I want to make sure, did you say everything that you felt like you wanted to say?
Yeah, if there's any, if you ask me a question, I can answer it, but I think I said everything, you know. Yeah, I think I got it out. Oh, I talked about having, I met everybody there. You know, I knew Mary Matu that passed away who had the
Mm-hmm.
hair salon. One of the things I wanted your viewers to know is that I was actually in Gambia. I was actually a repat or an expat. None of this is hearsay. I met these people. I had dinner with these people. I, went out with these people. He and I together. So this is not, I did not meet, go back to Africa in person, but I did, like I said, we emailed Dinah Samir, all of these people, he and I were in contact with and trying to build relationship. Melanated Mr. Mosley, even Emily, you had on your show
Mm-hmm.
a few months back. I
Mm-hmm.
know Emily and her
Mm-hmm.
children.
Yes.
Let me see, who didn't I meet? The two ladies that passed away, I didn't know them, but I did know Mary and I did know Andrea.
Mm-hmm.
When I went, oh, this is something I wanted to say. When I went to the Gambia, it was my desire to also immerse myself in the culture and to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I didn't get immersed in the culture. So for me, it was difficult connecting with the Gambians, other than me going to the lady across the street and having her do my hair.
Mm-hmm.
We would buy the kids soccer balls and dolls for the little girls. Um, I was raised up to respect elders, so I would give some of the older ladies, just hand them money. Um, what else did I was something else I wanted to say. I went off on a tangent when I just, oh, I went to learn Wolof, but the
Mm-hmm.
person teaching Wolof was American. It wasn't a Gambian. I was in a dance class that Andrea Africa was in a dance class with me. So
Oh,
I
so
knew
you know
her.
them all. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I knew she had
Wow.
opened up the store that she had.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted everybody to know my story as far as I went there. My experiences with the people were, oh, I knew Brew Crew,
Mm-hmm.
Family Exodus, uh, had Brew Crew and I, she and her husband, me and my husband were kind of like a, not friends, but we had a good rapport.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, 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 I knew, met Molly Morris
Mm-hmm.
and Angel of Mo2,
Mm-hmm.
knew them. Juliet and Adrian, met them when they were together. I love Spain. At least you got to travel. I absolutely loved Spain to T and K. Absolutely love Spain. Um, Senegal looks like New York to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not New York, California. Um, uh, I think I got everything out. Expat. I remember, let me say this. I remember it was me, Brew Crew, and we were talking. We were in our living room, and I was telling her how getting there to the Gambia and then living there, how I was so disappointed with
Mm-hmm.
the expat community, because it looks like, oh, we're going to come, we're going to be this big, happy African American family. And I'm telling you, y'all, that them people was not on one accord. Everybody was fighting, backbiting against each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I do mean everybody that I knew. Somebody didn't like this person, or they didn't like this person, or this was my idea. Why do they think they're going to take that idea? There was a lot of that going on. Serengeti, we went to their restaurant on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
So we met a lot of people because we had free time. We were retirees. We didn't go. Kiki, you look so sleepy. We didn't go there trying to start a business. We went to retire. So I think
So
I
you
got it
got
all.
the chance to meet everybody.
Pretty much.
So what about this one, Miss Aretha, from the from your perspective? Do you believe the majority of the repats there are living in an illusion and are in denial?
Hands down, yes. Because most of the people I mentioned to you are back in the United States of America. Yes.
Wow.
It's in the only ones that are not are the Black Acres.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there ain't no bowling alley. There ain't no apartments. And I'm sorry. And I didn't want to come on Kiki's show for a long time because I would say, nah, Kiki, because I know all them people and all them people like
Mm-hmm.
me and I'm friendly and no. But here's the thing. It's just the truth.
Yes.
If you watch their
Yes.
videos, and if they're watching, and I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to be offensive, if you watch their videos, he talked about apartments,
Mm-hmm.
bowling alleys,
Yep, sure did.
he talked
Restaurant.
about
Mm-hmm.
and when we got there, we went and visited them, and there was no other communication with them other than she was selling. Cynthia was selling greens, and I bought greens from her, and they were delicious. Let me tell you, I cooked them greens, and they was good. But other than that, we might see them at the store and say hello, but there was no community. Cynthia and I, let me say this, Cynthia and I did talk. We talked about our children, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And she shared some things with me about her family. But as far as the community, no. And then our journey, God bless them, they're Hebrew. And so they had a whole different mindset. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Right.
if you ain't Hebrew and you're not following along in that,
Mm-hmm.
I think Eric and Nicole were Hebrew as well. I don't know. But everybody's back here that I know of, except my husband. He's still there by himself. That's not funny. Okay.
Okay, Miss Aretha, answer this one. Who owns, do you know who owns Sarah Getty? And she said it closed recently.
I know their faces. I want to say their last name was Thomas. I don't know. The sons were saxophone players.
Oh,
They
okay.
were musicians.
Mm-hmm.
And they were from Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
They were from Atlanta. And the husband was military as well. And that was something he and my husband had. What about their? Oh, they're still there. I think they're still there. Forgive me. Yeah, they're still there. Um, did they sell up? I don't know. Did who sell up?
I don't know. Okay, what does this one say? It says, Kiki,
Okay, he
you
said,
sent me an
yeah,
email because I'm still here. Oh,
that's
okay.
Ken. Yeah,
It's
but
Kiki Loves Nigeria,
yeah,
KEKELUVS Nigeria at gmail.com. I'm sorry, I didn't know you were still on here. Okay. Black Acres of the Gambia with nothing but a big lie. He sold us up the creek with the paddle. They sure did. They sure
yeah,
did.
because
Go
you
ahead.
can't go there and not have a little bit of money.
Mm-mm.
You have to go there and have an income. And I guarantee you, anybody that's still there has an income coming from the US.
Yes,
Because
thank
when
you.
you set up a business,
Mm-hmm.
my experience, the Gambians ain't coming to your restaurant.
Mm-mm.
They ain't coming to get their hair done, and they're not buying your clothes.
No, no.
They're not buying what you're selling.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Empath of London said, so the arrivals are back in the U.S.
No,
Uh,
I took that back. I apologize. I believe they are still in Gambia.
but somebody
Yeah.
else told me they were back in the United States.
If they are, I don't know nothing about it.
Yeah, somebody said that, but I don't know.
And let
Can,
me have that on the record. I don't know nothing about
so
whether
somebody
they're
else is
or not.
saying they left. What happened to the land? And we don't know. If that's Kenny and he writes me, I'll ask him for y'all, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And see what they say. It says Juan says an extremely toxic black community in Gambia. Okay, so this person wants you to go to East Africa, but from what I've been seeing, it's all the same no matter where you go.
And guess what? Aretha don't want to go to. A friend of mine asked me last week that I want to go on a cruise with her somewhere in the South Africa. I said I don't want to go to South, East, North, West,
You said I
down,
ain't trying
up,
to go
nowhere.
nowhere.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. He says no, they're still there. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not true, people. The arrival are still there. I think it's her.
It's in her about information in her homepage. I don't know what he's talking about.
Okay, maybe they're talking about something else. Okay.
Yeah.
So this one says, it sounds like it might have been, sounds like it might have indeed, let me put these glasses on, been a little paradise, but it fell apart. Okay. Hey, so Miss Aretha, did it ever seem like it was a little paradise over there?
No.
Oh, wow. She said, no, it never seemed like that.
Because as beautiful as the home was that we lived in, they have where the water is shut off for a certain amount of time every day. We did meet the happy companion. I don't know if he's still there, but we did meet him. The power goes off several times a day, and for long periods.
Yes.
I am not Muslim. If you're Muslim, it's okay. I'm not discriminating against anybody being Muslim, but Gambia is also a Muslim country.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one particular night where these people partied all night long, and at 4:59 is shut off, and at 5 o'clock the call to prayer was there. And it was loud. So yeah.
Okay. Truth Serum says, what about Harmony? How is Harmony?
I think she's okay. I don't know though, but I think she's okay.
So Mayall says he's not sure if that's the real Kenny. From Terry's video, it looks like at least she might be back in the US. Maybe they don't want people to know on the internet that the land is vacant. So that's why people are saying that. Now that sound like him. Love you, family. Yeah, that sounds just
Love you
like
back.
good to hear. She is likely okay. So
Yeah, that's not Harmony.
yeah. Okay. Miss Aretha, anything else you want to add or anything else you want to say?
No, I think I got it all out. Don't be afraid to start over. It ain't
Yes.
gonna be easy, but if you got it in you, just do what you got to do and get it done.
Now, how did you get the hotel? Because see, a lot of them don't have money, because they take all their money to go to Africa and they don't have the money to come back. Now, when you were in the hotel, did you, if you don't mind sharing, how did you get the money to pay for the hotel and to pay for your expenses?
I'm still married.
So you were still getting money from him, your
Yes.
husband. Okay.
Yes.
So that's the thing. So that's the problem some of
Yeah.
the ladies will run into, that
Yeah.
you were blessed enough that this man had
Yeah.
enough income and he was still sharing the income with you.
Yes.
So these ladies, a lot of them are not in that situation. They don't
Yeah.
have any income. So that is a problem.
And that would be, and I don't have a solution for that. I would just say that in that regard, in my life, God did shine on me, even though my choice was not a good choice, it still benefited,
Yes.
you know.
Yes. Now, a caring touch says, have you tried to have the divorce finalized? You do not need his signature.
No, I have not.
Uh, and then she said, Edra says military wives get paid. So she's saying that
True.
you'll get a nice amount of money if you
Yes.
when you decide that's the route you want to go down. And maybe that's why he's just still giving you money, because he doesn't want you to go down that route. Because
Very well could be.
yes.
And I don't mean to sound boastful or anything like that, but either way, I'm still going to get money,
Yes.
whether I'm still his wife or if I'm his divorced wife.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
you will. You will.
Yeah.
You probably get more if you divorce him now. You probably get a lot
Wow.
more. Yeah, because they're going to make him split everything. Everything. He might even have to pay more than half. It's going to be a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, it's going to be a lot.
Yeah.
especially what happened. Oh God, it's going to be a lot of money.
Yeah. And let me say this too. I don't have to say this, but I want to say this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I am healing. I've come a long way. I've done a lot of inner work,
Mm-hmm.
spiritual work. And as bad as things were, and as bad as he did me,
Mm-hmm.
let me say on public record, I wish him well.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. Because wishing him bad ain't gonna help me anyway, but
No.
I do. I wish him well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah.
Yeah. Because just imagine what he's going through there. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure he's going through it at this point. I'm sure he realizes he made a huge, gigantic mistake.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Maybe. Yeah.
Anybody else got any more questions before we get off of here? Thank you, Miss Aretha, so much for coming on here and sharing your story with us. And
Thank you for having me.
yes, and giving us good
Yeah.
advice and for singing with us. I don't know if you can sing like that. Uh, yes, Miss Aretha is a very kind lady. She really is.
Mm.
So that's all we have for tonight. We just wanted Miss Aretha want to come over here and share her story, and I'm so thankful that she did. Thank you so much, Miss Aretha, and I will be talking to you. And Zora says thank you for sharing also.
Thank you all for listening.
Oh, thank you for coming. All right, everybody, that's all we have for tonight, and we will see you all next week. All right. All right, Miss Aretha, I'll talk to you later. Okay, Miss Aretha, once I will it'll just end. Wait a minute. Somebody has another comment. Uh Wait a minute, Miss Aretha, here comes some comments. It says, when ready, she needs to consult an attorney regarding a divorce because she might not get half, but a percentage of the pension
Pension.
in proportion to so
Mm-hmm.
that's what he's saying, to check that out to see
It's
how much
still
you're
going. It's
entitled to.
19 years in April.
Wow. You really have done inner work, Lisa says. You seem like your burdens are somewhat lifted. You have grown. And
I
see,
have.
that makes it all worth it, you know.
Yeah.
That makes it all worth it. The lesson has been learned. Yep, that is
Mm,
good. That's one
mm,
way it is, Miss Manda. She said that's one way to heal yourself, wishing your antagonist well. Yeah,
mm,
yeah.
mm-hmm.
Why not wish them well? They're gonna need it.
Yeah.
They are gonna need it. No, thank you, Miss Zora, for watching. Bye,
Mm-hmm.
bye to the people in the UK. Hey, Super Black. Super Black said, did Juliet change for her?
No. Charge for her 15 minutes?
Did
No.
she charge? Oh, she didn't charge.
No.
Okay. Cheating is a very common, unfortunate. It's very common. Unfortunately, so you are not alone. Yeah, it is real common.
True.
You guys are welcome. Thank you for watching us and staying on here with us for 2 hours. All right. I will talk to you guys next week. Thank you, Miss Aretha, and I'll be
Thank
talking to
you.
you. Okay. Bye bye,
All
y'all.
right. Bye, everyone.